Jetboat held this record first in 78, 79, 80 and 81. First, second and third in 1983. Not bad. And we had a good chance to repeat those successes in this year's event, run over the 4 North Island and 6 South Island rivers, with Christchurch's Howard Smith and Whangare's former doubled world champion Mark Cromie. But the dark horse was rookie Christchurch driver Ken Macdonald. Our coverage is in 2 parts. Today, the North Island section.
The North Island section of the route comprises 6 laps on 4 rivers: the Manawatu, the Narororo, the Rangatike and the Wanganui. Day 1 should have been 157 kilometres up and down the Manawatu, but flood conditions dictate a short 8-kilometre time trial instead, just enough to determine a race order. The raging torrents of the Manawatu Gorge would have been quite a spectacle for those unconcerned about safety, but there seemed little point in halving the field on day 1. Tip for an outright win is Christchurch driver Ken Macdonald. This is his first ever marathon, but the cool, tactical head of all experienced crew, new prototype jet unit is his secret weapon. For what it's worth, on day 1 of 8, Macdonald has taken the lead by 20 seconds from Tony Ward and 30 seconds from early favourite Howard Smith. With so many top competitors now using American Berkeley jet units, Macdonald has a lot of New Zealand pride at stake, with his entry backed by the inventors of jet boating, attempting to re-establish superiority on home waters. So the first real test of the marathon is on the Narororo, from Napier to Whanawana and back, 114 kilometres. Leader Ken Macdonald settles to a good but cautious pace upstream. The man setting the pace is Howard Smith in Charisma. He's making the first big break, pulling a minute on the field. Former double world champion Mark Cromie in AC Delco is another lead player in this riverboat epic. On past record alone, he must be a threat. American Leo Wright is one of the world's more experienced and successful jet boaters, and he's playing a wily game, sacrificing outright speed for safety by following a local driver who will hopefully pilot him through the potential hazards. Smith has set fast up, and most of the top boats are through, if not unscathed. Back in the obstacle course, 50-odd just battle on. 1984 world champion in Robbie Kroenig, Leo Wright in following a local, as he and his crew decisions in finding a suitable route.
This is the first time we've come to New Zealand and run this shallower water. We're more used to much bigger waves and things. We don't look at this river, and it's a lot shallower, and we were pretty worried. And this flooding conditions is really an advantage to us. I'm sure the New Zealanders wanted to pick up quite a bit of time on us today, and we're just waiting to get to some of the long, fast runs, and we'd be real happy if we just get back down. If I find somebody else that I can get behind, that's where I'm staying, just to get back down.
Their engine, an 8.3 litre Arias, is drag racing derived and much better suited to placid waters than today's confused torrents and spray. With the A-class boats unable to use their 600 to 900 horsepower, it's a chance for Wayne Mackenzie and the best B-class performer, River Road. His power comes via a Jaguar V12 carburetted engine, delivering a conservative but reliable 380 horsepower. Already he's raised some eyebrows with his third fastest uptime, and he's about to make it third overall. Inevitably, the river claims its bag of victims, whether for temporary or longer stopovers. And as some crews will discover in every marathon, you have to be armchair against the race.
The river was pretty lumpy. We come round a corner and just hit a pressure wave, gust of wind underneath, and we just spun. Didn't really see the wave that we hit, which you never do, otherwise you would go down, but it was just unfortunate. Greg just got thrown out of the boat at that time. He landed in water and we regained control of the boat and got him back in the boat. He's just got a bruised leg, I think, quite badly.
I don't like boating in the water. It's very hard to read. Anything can happen, you know, if you come off a pressure wave, as has been seen this way, you can just get thrown out quite quickly.
What kind of tactics are you employing?
Yesterday or today. The original plan was that if I were fifth when we cross over the South Island, I'd be very happy. But here I am out in front, which I didn't particularly want to be.
The marathon's longest stage. This one, 234 km from Taumarunui right to Wanganui. Canada's Robbie Krunick has done well in the Rangatike and now lies fifth, adjusting quickly to the Wanganui. Fourth place is being tenuously held by Tony Ward, and Marmy that's up on a Chev 4-powered tunnel and is challenging both Smith and Macdonald at the head of the field. This is not a good Americans, though. Leo Wright has struck an engine problem, which it seems will cost them any hope of staying in touch with the leaders. Never mind, at least they've got paddles and manpower.
New Zealanders led the field. Ken Macdonald was in first place. Second was Mark Cromie, third Bill Roberts, and fourth Wayne Mackenzie. Robbie Krunick of Canada was the top overseas competitor in fifth place. Now you'll notice that Howard Smith's name is missing, and this was because he was involved in a protest, and that had to be decided before it was known who would lead into the South Island section.
The South Island section comprises 8 stages on 6 rivers. 2 on the Rakaia, 1 each on the Waiau, Buller, Grey and Taramako, and 2 on the Waimakariri. 518. BB Marison's cool in second place and still not using all his available power. Even the locals here have trouble guessing which braid is the most direct and which ones dissolve into a me-backus water. Smith is going well and still in control of the marathon mark. Heading to a lower bridge, Mark Cromie has AC Delco of second. He used to live beside this river and still holds that. The jet unit is to provide a spectacular rooster tail and a drenching for some unsuspecting spectators. As Bill Roberts in the general is only a C-class entry, but already he's stunning his rivals by challenging for fourth place. Bill Roberts is just about to discover he's in third place behind Macdonald and Cromie and ahead of a dozen theoretically faster boats. River Road's V12 is still running flawlessly for Wayne Mackenzie, who is the bridge on a South Canterbury day.
Get to the top here, it's feeling Howard down there, but
your motor's obviously pulling very strongly. Does that, you got a lot of confidence in that at the moment?
Yeah, I really don't anticipate any problems at all from the engine, and I think come Saturday it should still be going as good as it is today.
Macdonald's understated confidence is in stark contrast to the wide-eyed impressions of Canadian Robbie Krunick.
It's much trickier, the racing here. You know, the guys here, they are in Canada. We do have some rivers like this, but most of our racing is done on boats in over there, little good boats.
After the traditional barbecue lunch, it's off again for the leg, back to the Rakaya huts whence they started. Already the field has been reduced to 44, which means 21 have fallen by the wayside. 70 kilometres will take Macdonald and Cromie just over 35 minutes as the marathon pace hots up for the survivors. The Canadians are off the still in the race. Macdonald is quick. Cromie is reveling in the calm water. And Roberts is out on his own in B and third overall. Canada's Prostake is in 5th place overall and has begun pushing the big Ford engine hard in an effort to catch the front runners. Another C-class boat well up is John Roberts' Aorangi. This 302 Chev-powered boat is much less powerful than the A and B classes, but 7th. There are 41 boats left running. An early morning start on the Buller will take them from Westport to Anangahua. From there, it's down the Grey from Ikamatua to Greymouth, and then up the Taramako from Kumara to Jackson's. A total of 148 Ks in scant water. As race leader Ken Macdonald trailers from Anangahua to Ikamatua in search of the Grey, Bill Roberts is already stripping his jet unit to change impellers and hopefully prevent a breakdown through. The sun was a hindrance in the Buller. Lack of water is the Grey's promise.
In the Buller River, it's very deep, and the aluminium impeller that we're a little quicker, and it allows us to let the motor rev a little freer. And we're running back to a bronze one for this river because of the shallow conditions, and a little punishment from the stone's better than the aluminium one. A lot of difference in horse. The aluminium one seems easier to spin, and the boat appears to go quicker on it. It's silicon bronze. It's quite hard, and it's a good price compared with stainless steel.
Rival at the Grey is Cromie. By the sun, he hit and lost his oil. A local garage helped out, and all seems to be well.
We come round a corner and we couldn't actually see the water because we were looking straight into the sun, and I hit a wave sideways, and by the time we landed, our boat was out of the river, and we went round the bank out of the river across the river.
Did you manage to salvage the boat without a great deal of damage?
Yeah, really did no damage to the bottom of the boat at all. It just put a wee dent in the side of the boat, but I think it fractured an oil line on impact, and we had a major oil leak which just got to the finish line with 0 oil pressure, so we'll know whether we've done any damage shortly.
Macdonald has increased his lead through Cromie's misfortune. He's slightly cautious, paying dividends. The pressure is all on Cromie, falling back in 2nd place. He's well aware, having twice been world champion, that time is running out to catch Macdonald, and unless the Christchurch ballers try to make any impression whatever. Tony Ward, Cromie puts the hammer down and winds AC Delco up to over 150 kilometres an hour as the greys in front of him. But things went horribly wrong. Gary McEwen's Chardon is a good quarter hour ahead of his D-class rivals and 9th overall. They sweep down the lower reaches of the Grey into Greymouth itself. Only 37 boats are still in the marathon. Those boats of the American proved their undoing, and shortly afterwards their forlorn E1 is park abandoned. At the end of the Tanamako, 32 of the original 65 boats remain as they head for Christchurch. But Ken Macdonald now has over 9. Mark Cromie with Roberts and Mackenzie dead equal in 3rd. The final river is the Waimakariri, 67 kilometres up to the Gorge Bridge and then back again as far as the motorway bridge, 128 kilometres total. Drivers could see this view, they'd wonder at some of their mistakes. After the river miles they've come in the last 2 weeks, the finish is just over half an hour away for the first few. Cromie can't win from half an hour late, but second place looks excellent considering the excursions of yesterday. The emerging 86 world champion has changed heads into turbo overnight to ensure his finish. He and Cromie are 4 minutes clear of the field. Roberts is still in 3rd place, though, but he's had some minor mechanical problems and his navigator's more in ear for the moment, which means the driving isn't as smooth as it might be. Different Routes has closed the 30-second gap between Macdonald and Cromie to 10 seconds on the river, but Macdonald will still win by around an hour overall. This Hamilton hull and twin-turbo force Chev, along with Hamilton's new jet unit, have just Ken Macdonald navigator Colin McCall to a World Championship win. Cromie was the bridesmaid, and Wayne Mackenzie's arrival in 3rd place means Bill Roberts is aground, and Mackenzie will take 3rd overall if Roberts is more than 4 minutes behind him. His worst vote. Donald acknowledges the contribution of his navigator Colin McCall, tentatively ahead to England, Canada.
Rest and go to sleep tonight for the first time in 2 weeks. But as far as racing is concerned, I don't know. We'll sit down and have a think. We're possibly of Canada next year, but July and
Among the 30-odd finishers, there are impressive results aside from Ken McKee and Bill Roberts. E-class boats 3rd and 4th. Gary McLean and Bull putting an E-class in the top 10.
So the World Jetboat Marathon over for another year, and New Zealand add another name and yet another world title to an already impressive performance.